And so what does that mean that the ego is afraid of love? So the ego is afraid of absolute love because it relies on conditions, because it itself has risen, has been born out of conditions, out of judgments, which begins with, I am this and you are that. We're taught that from the beginning. And our senses correlate with that because the senses start to differentiate and we start to perceive this like vibration world through the mechanisms of our interpretive devices, which are our senses. And so, again, this world feels very real. It feels very convincing because we interact with it, we experience it through the interpretation devices of our senses. But when we shift our perception to see that, oh, this is all me, actually, this is all light, this is all particles and waves moving through space. Well, now I can see much more clearly how everything is an effect of mind, everything is a mirror, everything is reflecting myself back at me to see, which then brings us back to the great wisdom behind the Ho'oponopono practice that I shared 2 videos ago. So the ego is terrified of unconditional love because it's afraid to be seen for what it is and it's afraid of its own demise. Again, because the ego has embodied itself through the body, then its survival is dependent on the body's survival. And so it's hooked itself into the body's needs, the body's wants. But at the same time, what's fascinating is that the ego is inherently self-destructive. It's actually testing the bounds of love. It's actually testing its worthiness or its lack of worth because it has a fundamental belief born out of the belief, this feeling of separation, that it must be wrong, it must be bad, it must not be whole and complete because it doesn't feel whole and complete. It can't be whole and complete because, from its point of view, it's separate from the divine, it's separate from light, it's separate from God, it's separate from nature.